Hi, I am here with Judith Purkiss. She is a SENCO and Christian author of the book Words of Encouragement. Judith is going to talk to us about transitions and supporting your child with special needs at school, especially now that changes are happening with school ending, summer holidays, going back to school and making that transition into secondary school. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what Judith has to say today. Hello, Judith. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. And yourself?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Thanks. Bit of a long day, but yeah, not bad. Um, so I just wanted to kind of start by kind of an introduction to yourself, and how long you've been working with special needs children, where your passion is around that.
Um, I've been in teaching since 1995, and I think by the nature of the cohorts that I've been working with, it wasn't officially SEN when I started teaching, but I actually started physically working with SEN in 2000.
Wow.
And I worked first of all with what was then called EMA, which was Ethnic Minority Achievement. And I moved from that to being a head of year and doing SEN. And I actually took the National SENCO Award in 2010. So
Amazing.
officially 10 years, but unofficially 20.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. Congratulations on your award as well. So I just wanted to kind of start with, what advice would you give to parents who are wondering how to improve that homeschool communication?
Well, I think that this coronavirus and lockdown situation has given schools and parents challenges, but it's also given them quite unique opportunities to be able to communicate. My school, we bought, I think it was about 15 cheap phones, and then we divided the children up, and we all had between 30 and 40 that we had to ring, minimum of once a week, sometimes twice a week, and just to talk with them. And I used to speak to the parents and also to the children. And then we've also got Google Classrooms, which we liaise with the children to check how their work's going. And I think that now is a good time. I know that the summer holidays are approaching, but it's always good to maintain the lines of communication, so that particularly for people whose children have additional needs, introduce yourself to the SENCO at the beginning of the year. Introduce yourself to the class teacher or teachers if you're in a secondary school. Make sure that you join any parents groups that they have at the school for children with additional needs, and be contactable.
I think I really like that advice about being able to have that confidence to just come out and just speak to the SENCO, and finding out who the SENCO is and going to find them when a child goes to, especially when they start going to secondary school. That's something that's really important to parents at the moment, kind of moving into secondary school. How do you find that kind of transition? So I know a lot of parents, when they feel like their child might have got something at primary school, they're moving to secondary school, but they're worried about what support they're going to get. Would you say that the best thing is to find the SENCO as well?
Yes, I would say particularly this year, most transitions have been done virtually. I mean, I've Zoom meetings every day, with different, sometimes with the parent and the teacher, sometimes just the teacher, and when there's been paperwork attached. But my plan is, in September, anyone who I wasn't able to have a conversation with, if it's possible, I'm going to have Zoom conferences with the parents the first week back. And I think it's important to establish from an early age, because I think one of the challenges that people face is come May or June saying, well, I have been trying to contact you since September. There needs to be more effective communication. And so give the SENCO time, but if you email, say, on the 1st of September, it's not unreasonable to expect them to get back to you by the 3rd or the 4th. And so you can establish a communication. If you come openly, my child has dyslexia, stammers, has speech and language communication needs, whatever it may be, and in primary school they used to have somebody to help them with their writing. Can you tell me how this would work in the secondary school? That's a positive way. If you come at parents' evening in October saying they haven't had any support, then it's not too late, but it's not a positive beginning. I think it's about expressing yourself first. It's not a case of getting in your retaliation before they've even started. You're not going in an accusatory manner, but you're letting them know, I'm setting up my agenda, and how can we work together to support this child?
I was just going to go into a little bit about kind of that home relationship and kind of like what advice you would give parents for managing their child at home, because a lot of parents say, oh, when my child's at home, they behave like this. When they go to school, they behave like that. And it might be positive in one area and negative in another area. But some parents seem to have some sort of a difference between the two. What would you suggest about that?
There is always going to be a difference in the two, for the simple reason that familiar settings, familiar situations are going to cause people to behave in one way. And at school, which maybe it is a familiar setting, but it's a new one, particularly in September. And there's also the other children. If there's somebody that you don't get on with and you have to sit beside them every day, and you don't know how to regulate yourself, then you may not behave in a way that's appropriate. And so if you say to a parent, in this situation, this is how the child behaves, I think parents need to take that on board. Because I know as an adult, I'm not going to get on with everybody, but as an adult, you can say, I don't like the way this person behaves, I'm going to walk away. Small children, young children may not have that maturity of thought or outlook. So I think, if anything, if a child has difficulties at school and the school keeps on phoning, you need to ask them, what have they done in terms of their zones of regulation, in terms of small group work with the child. But then at home, you need to be teaching your child, life isn't always going to be 2 or 3 people that you like being beside you. There are many people, and it's about adjusting and learning how to accommodate. But parents need to take the time as well. If what sort of day have they had at school? How will you know? Are you reading their homework log? Are you looking in their diary? Are you checking that they're doing their work? Are you giving them quality time? Sometimes children act up because they haven't got any attention. And we are loco parentis at school, but we cannot take the place of, we're complementary. And I think that's a point that needs to be made. But again, we have parenting classes and parent groups. Join one. I know that everybody has to go to work and so on, so they may not have the time to sit down for an hour in the morning, but talk to the other parents and see what it's like. Because if you think that your child's behavior is a challenge, you may be surprised to find that other parents have a similar problem. So it's working together to find solutions.
100%. Yeah, I think that's such really good advice. I just want to finish on what your kind of top 2 tips would be, kind of managing that transition from September as we're kind of coming towards the end of the school year. If you had to give kind of 2 pieces of advice, what would it be?
Look on the website of the school if you're transitioning to a new school as opposed to just a new year, and see if they've got a transition package, whether it's a virtual tour of the school or a list of the activities the year 7s or the year 1s, depending on which stage you're going to be doing, and make sure you read it. And related to that, if the child is going to be traveling to school on their own, do a couple of travel runs. Say, get on the bus, walk with them a couple of times so that they're not anxious. And then I suppose when you actually get there, they normally have a meet the teacher. Be there, meet the teacher, And then that would be my advice. And then you have to take it from there, really.
Yeah, 100%. I've really enjoyed having this conversation. I think you've just got so much knowledge that you've been able to share. Is there anything else that you want to finish on?
No, I just think, if I may say, coming from as a person of Caribbean heritage, a Black woman, that your child is too important to leave to a system, that you have to take responsibility for your child. Because you can give children money or any other form of materials advantage, but that can be taken away from them. But if you give a child a good education and they're secure that you love them, no one can take that from them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Judith, for having this conversation. And I'll look forward to speaking to you another time and possibly sharing more of your views. And that's all for today. Thank you very much.